Okay, so when I was little, I used to have some really bizarre experiences that I didn't talk about. And I want to tell you some of those exposed me to realms of possibilities and open perspectives that I would need to hold for future learnings in my life. That's what I want to get into to today's episode. I want to get into what's coming in future episodes and to encourage you to be open to the possibilities that are trying to make manifest in your life. I hope you enjoy our time together.
Hello, and welcome to the Constance Messmer Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in.
So we've just come through the 11 soul senses again and the 12 chakra system based on my book Soul Yoga, using your 12 chakras as a map to reaching your highest potential. And I wanted to present two different formats to my team to get their vote and take on what should I get into next, because Spirit prompts me with what I'm supposed to talk about. And I acquiesce. I'm like, okay, I'll do it, even though I don't always want to, I'm just the messenger. And so I brought these two themes to them. One was kind of the unfolding soul that you are, getting into a lot of different topics. And then the other one was just weird shit. I called it weird stuff because it's weird stuff to me. And I just thought, I don't even know if people will want this, but it's little topics that you've brought before me, asking and requesting that I speak to my perspective. And of course, my team voted on the weird stuff. I'm like, okay, here we go. Here we go. And I think that I was always curious about these weird topics. Things like astral projection, the dreamscape, tools of divination, just like energetic agency, star beings, alien connection, the Akashic Records. I've used these topics or these arenas in my work because I was slightly familiar with them growing up. I told you my dad was into watching metaphysical shows on TV. I was grateful for that exposure, but I also had some really lively experiences personally and interactions with spirit realm and working with my intuitive nature. And those interactions in my childhood allowed me to be okay with what was to come when I did healing sessions. And these kind of themed arenas were coming out full force. And it was so that I could relay information of truth to people on my table or people within the reads and reconcile maybe even family differences as things came forward to me as the messenger and the mediator and communicator from them to spirit realm. And so this has been a real fun trip for me, really, being exposed to these other arenas that I wouldn't necessarily have seen myself exploring from my childhood onward. I don't think I would have, but I was grateful for the interrelationships that I've had along the way with this particular weird stuff material, because I think it will help not only me, but maybe you, and maybe you can relate to some of the stories that I'll share in the episodes in the months ahead as we, kind of collect ourselves and experience that material together. And my work as an intuitive expert, my psychic take on it, not my personal opinion to it, but my experiences with the material, with those topics as they've been presented to me over the course of my, 3 decades of healing work and reads, but also studies with the spirit realm when I sit in meditation, and also with my experiences in my own life. I think the most beneficial parts of myself in regards to all of this psychic work and, intuitive nuances of reality, if you will, the benefits or the pieces that I bring to it that I want to make sure you hold fast to is open-mindedness. This This is really important because, you kind of have this suspension of disbelief. You're just like, I'm going to be open to what it is. It doesn't mean you have to follow it. If it doesn't feel right, never follow it, right? There's a difference between scary because it's a new experience and scary because it's a not okay experience. Always don't go with the not okay experience. The scary beings or the scary suggestions, don't go with that. If they don't resonate rightfully, don't do it. But I was always a curious child. Plus, I always felt innately and incredibly protected. We all have this angelic team of light around us. Even though I've gone through trauma in my life, by the hands of others, I still believe that I am protected in these spaces of psychic work, Yeah. So the other thing that has blessed me with exploring these arenas that I work in and teach is this incredible sense of curiosity. Very curious, and observant, hand in hand with being observant. So open-mindedness, curiosity, and being observant. Those are the three kind of perspectives I encourage you to have. And so with this sense of curiosity, when things were happening, I would enter into the experience so that I could understand it more, so that I could really look at it and observe it deeply and consciously and with an openness, so that it wasn't as much my perspective on it, but more so its revelation of it to me. Does that make sense? Maybe you understand what I'm saying. I hope so. So throughout my life as a child, when I would have those moments of being in family gatherings and listening deeply, even as a small kid, right? When, I just didn't have much to say because it was adult conversation. Those were the times I learned about empathic clairpensée, where I would go in and listen deeper to words unspoken or what they were saying behind the words they were saying out loud, right? So as a little kid, like many of you, I would go out and play in nature as we do, but I would really connect with nature spirits and the energy of the trees. And, and I definitely have an overactive imagination. But as I've told you from earlier videos and lessons, episodes, the imaginal realm is an organ, kind of a psychic usage to help us visualize clairvoyantly, internally, and consciously comprehend and grasp experiences that are just beyond us. And so sometimes that whole crossover would occur, that it wasn't my imagination, but it was an entry into the reality at a deeper level of this undercurrent of energy or beings or nature or, all of this. So I think my kind of quirkiness as a kid was helpful. I was very much in my head. I still am. I just am. It's Aquarian and air sign. I think it is. Maybe that's why. Yeah, I think it is. It is. So maybe that's why I was just born this way. But I wonder, those of you that are familiar with this kind of way of being also see yourself in that. It's why the great inventors come up with these inventions. They imagine it in their mind, and then next thing you know, it's real. I remember watching Star Trek as a kid with the flip phone, and now we have, then we went into flip phones, and now we just have these boxes in our pocket, and who knows, and on our glasses and on our watches and all this stuff. It's fascinating. I love it. So I wonder what you have inside of you that you're going to make manifest and create and bring forward into our future. That's a necessary thing, just because you too are having this interaction and imagination kind of roam free to see what might actually then be coming to you and also from you, that you will bring forward in the world as a new revelation, So I think that for me, it was beneficial to have this relationship with my world, this soul level interaction that went beyond the physical, so that I could recognize these experiences later when I was helping people through them, either on my treatment table or in giving reads or mediumship sessions when I was the mediator from spirit world to here or here to spirit world to kind of sort out the family dynamic and family experiences to help people understand happenings on a deeper level. I think I couldn't have done any of what I did if I didn't have this kind of open-mindedness and this sense of curiosity and this high observation that I had. It's what allows me to go deeper in any psychic experience, and then to use that deeper splunking, if you will, to my advantage as a learning space to take it further in my work ahead and in my personal life, right? That's always been my go-to, is sitting with spirit to study and to be curious and ask questions. And then also be the kind of the scientific observer when I had clients come to me or when I had situations happen. There was a big pow outside. Someone's lighting fireworks. It's so funny. So I don't like fireworks. Did I ever tell you that? Because it's trash. Ends up trash on the planet or in the ocean or in the waterways when they fire the fireworks off with the cartridges. I was a lifeguard. I used to clean up the beach after the 4th of July on Martha's Vineyard, and there was a lot of trash. That was only what washed ashore. Not a fan of fireworks. They look pretty, but hopefully one day we'll just be able to project. Can someone invent that? Can you just project that into the sky somehow? 3D projection? I know you can. That would be cool. Take it and run. Make a shitload of money. No trash, no extra expenses, just a major projection. Thank you. And you're welcome for the idea. I am very fussy when it comes to several things, one of which is crystals and gemstones. I don't know about you, but sometimes you just can't trust what you're getting until you get it, and then you're not sure, whatever. I have a trusted company that I would like to suggest for you. It's Outer Spirit. And I'm joining with them, and they're joining with me to offer you a discount. You can check out the show notes to see about that. There's 20% off or 30% off, depending upon how much you want to fill up your shopping basket. I fill up a lot. Today I'm wearing their aquamarine gemstone bracelet, authentic gemstones, so beautiful. This is the small mini beads. It's delicate and gorgeous. Just gorgeous with their charm, their signature charm. The other cool thing about Outer Spirit, which is based in Monterey Bay, California, is that when you make a purchase, they donate off of that purchase to protect wild sea otters in Monterey Bay. I adore that, right? They're just altogether a great company that I stand by. And I just want to gift you with the opportunity to get a discount if you're interested and in need of some authentic gemstones that you could stand by to help with your own vibration, right? The aquamarine brings about balance and confidence, which I adore. I use it specifically for my sacral chakra, but also the suggested, which is what they suggest, is the throat chakra. Their packaging is exquisite. Inside each box, this beautifully crafted box, Outer Spirit, they have a card about the properties and the chakra that they suggest working with, right? It's gorgeous. This company's stunning. I just really highly recommend. So don't forget, codes for you, 20% off, 30% off, depending. And I hope you enjoy Outer Spirit as much as I do. Problem solution. I encourage you to look in these spaces of your higher consciousness in the imaginal realm to solve problems in your life or allow for assistance in your life or in your workspace. There's this incredible intuitive edge that we can bring into these spaces, which is why I've taught you about your 11 soul senses, and I'm encouraging you to use them in your life as resource and source to find, expanded living. Doesn't that sound, I'm like asking spirit, I'm like, are you really feeding me line for line here? And that sounds kind of vague. And they're like, it's landing, don't worry. So I hope that's landing. So I think one of the coolest things that I can gift you with is that awareness that if you can perfect being the observer while experiencing your life. So observing it and experiencing it. You can come to new levels of awareness with your interactions and your relationships and your responses in those moments, right? And a greater reality and newfound potentials and opportunities that could be trying to be revealed to you or through you. So it's this weird observer and experiencer at the same time. And that's what I did in my childhood, was this understanding later on in life. I was able to go, oh, geez, what are you doing, Constance? But as a kid, I was just in it. I think we are just in it. And I think so many of you have written in and said, I used to have all these skills when I was young and then I lost it. Well, yeah, we get kind of caught up in whether it's learning lessons in school, family dynamic, or business world or career or whatever, or other things take our mind away from those exploratory spaces of a greater, deeper awareness and understanding. And then sometimes we have naysayers in our life. We share a profound story of something that affected us, and then someone, poo-poos it, puts it down. I've had that a million times in my life. And that can half halt you. Yeah. There's that. If that sounds like it resonates, get my book Soul Yoga and go through. It's Soul Yoga using your 12 chakras as a map to reaching your highest potential. And in it are many ways of sourcing the troubles that may bind you and hold you back, so that you can become, once again, your true authentic self at your core consciousness, where those other people's words might have you filtering your reality and what you know is true, when you need to come back to your essence, your core consciousness, your true self, your authentic self, because that's the gift you bring to the planet. Who you are is what you came to do. I tell you that all the time. I always will. I just will. So in the months ahead, I'm going to really get into some material that might rub some people the wrong way. I don't care. I don't care. Be who I am, right? I'm trying to tell you to live your authentic self, be who you are. And I'm going to have to get in that. I told you before, sometimes my work irritates the religious people. And then sometimes the psychic community is like, why do you have to talk God so much? I'm like, listen, this is who I am. And plus it's all real. It's all true, right? It is. So whatever. So I'm just going to present what I'm being called to present. I just follow God. And that's what I'm being told to talk to you about and tell you about. So we'll get into the weird shit. Tools of divination, astral projection, dreamscape, all these topics that you've been writing in and asking about. And, if you have some more things that you want me to cover that I haven't already covered, hit reply to my newsletter and give me a shout out of what you want me to address. If it's in my wheelhouse, I will. Make sure you've already looked at the playlist to make sure I haven't already covered it, because I've covered a lot there. We're like a lot of episodes. So I don't like to repeat myself like that. I don't want to repeat a whole lesson. So if I've already taught on it, then watch or listen to that other podcast episode. That would be helpful to me. But I'm excited to move forward on these future episodes that might have you questioning reality, or might have you taking a new look at how you live your life. So enter in with curiosity, right? I'm asking you to be open, curious, and then I'm asking you to take it into your life to be more observant and more in relation with the world around you and what it's trying to reveal to you. That's what I did. And if you're here, you're interested in intuitive development and understanding this soul nature that you are on a deeper level, to use it to your benefit and own empowerment. Oh man, my hand is so hot right now. And truly that's what it is, because it's through your soul senses that your wise self communicates with you, let alone loved ones on the other side, or higher consciousness of a non-vocal, or higher consciousness of a friend at a distance, or right, let alone communication with guides and angels and God. It's all through the language of your 11 soul senses. And so I want you to recognize that if you're getting signs like to explore the dreamscape, or, you're intrigued by astral projection, or if you're like, gosh, what is it about tools of divination like the I Ching and tarot? Are they really that bad? What about the Ouija board? Is it really that bad? I think you should watch those episodes that I'm going to talk about on a deeper level than I have before. And so just kind of have this dialogue with me. I was just open. I was just open to all the weirdness. I'm not saying, listen, I read tarot. I'm not saying all these things are weird. I'm just saying they were areas that I didn't think I would ever be into as a little kid, but yet I was doing them. I was constantly doing them already. I was doing them already. I was looking for signs. I was communicating with God through signs as a kid. I was astral projecting as a kid. You probably were too, right? You probably know some aliens and star people. Maybe you are one yourself and you're like, God, this earth, who are these people? They are not my tribe. Maybe you are from far, far away and you're here to make change and make a difference. Chills. So these episodes are for you. Oh, chills. Maybe you get premonitions in your dream time and you're supposed to do something with them. This is the weird stuff. And I call it weird because it's not really in a theme. It's its own category. And I'm going to start, even though I love like chunks of volumes within the context of one theme, 12 chakras, 11 soul senses. These are not going to be that. They're going to be standalone. And I'm open to hear what you want to have dialogue with in the comments when I throw them out. And if you have some areas that I haven't mentioned, throw them in the comments of this episode and say, hey, can you talk on, whatever. I would love to hear that. I would love to hear that. And if it's in my wheelhouse, I will. And if it's not in my wheelhouse, then I'll ask Spirit, am I supposed to talk on that? And sometimes they say yes and, oh yeah. And sometimes they say, no, don't touch it. Don't touch it. And then I'm like, okay, whatever. Okay, got off the hook on that one, which I don't always know why. But because I don't ask any further, I don't go, why? I guess I could. Because that's always the thing, is to ask why, ask more questions. My hand is so hot. My right hand is so hot. Always question why. I love the why question. That's how I got good at being, take two. That's how I got so good at being a really good medium, was I asked deeper questions. Hands hot. So, yeah, ask. Let me know in the comments below other things you'd like to hear about. And if I could touch on them, I will. Most certainly. Even if it's just a short or a reel that you'll see in the shorts section or the short video section. That's redundant. So good. I'm excited. I'm excited to explore these spaces with you. I'm really grateful you're here. I know your time is valuable. I know my time is valuable. I don't really want to give you episodes that are nonsensical and don't land. And so thanks for kind of writing it out with me when I'm pulling from Spirit on what I'm supposed to talk about. And it's just like, we're just bantering and I'm including you in on the conversation. It's like a 3-way conversation, only there's a bagillion of you, 100 and I don't know how many thousand, 165 plus thousand of you across YouTube anyway, and on all their platforms. And I'm here for you. I know you're there for me. I'm feeling the vibe and the love, and I'm beaming it right back at you. And Spirit, there's Spirit, my guides, your guides. Maybe sit in meditation today and ask, chills, ask, what do you want me to have Constance speak on? Then you can, oh my God, my chills. Just ask them and they'll tell you, or they'll tell me and I'll speak on it, right? Did I ever tell you I used to do that in mediumship? I can't wait till I talk to you about mediumship, but now's not the time. I have to wait. I have to wait. But one of my favorite things in mediumship is the person would want to say and ask a question of their loved one on the other side. And I'd say, don't ask me out loud. Just ask them in your mind and they'll tell me the answer. And then I'll tell the answer to you out loud. I loved doing that. It freaked me out, freaked them too, but it's real. So I just want to help you realize what you're capable of. And I want you to be open to the realms of possibilities. And so that's what we're diving into in the weird stuff. And I use that term weird lovingly, more than you realize. I adore you. I love you. I believe in you. I'm so grateful we found each other. You do not even know how grateful I am. Thanks for tuning in.